open, we'll have a VO, 2-shot, then we're going to sting to Mason on frame sync 2. 2 minutes.
Test.
After Mason, we're going to go to a 3-box and then sting to Cassandra. And then Brent will be after Weather. We are a minute out. 2 for P-News. We'll sting to a thought in Alpha. 30. 15. 10 standby. Camera 2 for pre-news. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A 2-shot.
And straight ahead, we continue to follow breaking news.
Sun
2
Alpha.
pilots walk away from a fiery helicopter crash. Team coverage straight ahead.
Plus a growing crime that could cost you big time.
Alpha.
Range anywhere from
Opening 3 to a VO.
to over $2,000.
The pricey car part more thieves are going after.
No. Yes, you can do it.
Concerns over the governor's
Push.
privatized Medicaid plan.
You're going to lose your rural physicians, your rural dentists. We lost a lot of rural hospitals.
Why, the governor says it's a perfect prescription for Oklahoma. Right now, at 5.
Rolling 3. Oh, I forgot to put it was my fault. You can still do it. You got time.
And we begin at 5 with this, a fiery helicopter crash at an airport on the west side of the metro. But amazingly and thankfully, 2 pilots from it were able to walk away from the wreckage.
We have team coverage in the air and on the ground this evening. And let's start with Mason Dunn, Chopper 4. Mason, you were on the scene just moments after this happened.
Mason.
Yeah, guys, when we arrived, pretty dramatic video of the helicopter on fire as it sits here, not knowing if the pilots made it out.
All right, we're going to be in a 3-box next. And I did it right. Yay.
We also had video of them sitting on a tailgate and getting medical attention from personnel, fire department, this and that. This is a live shot right now. The helicopter still sits out here. Representatives from
we're going to go to a 3-box and then sting to Cassandra.
So the airport is still open. But the greatest news here is these 2 guys walked away. We don't know how it happened. We probably won't know for 6 months. You could speculate. It could be 100 different things. So we'll find that out. And just the good thing here is that these 2 pilots walked away. Mason Dunn reporting from Chopper 4. Back to you.
And as Mason just mentioned, border agents are out there taking
Cassandra
pictures.
next.
We know that Border Patrol does have some training courses that go on with those helicopters out there. Now back to those 2 pilots.
Okay,
they were
right
able
there
to walk away from that fiery crash.
And you see her there, News Force Cassandra Sweetman joins us now with more on their condition as she continues our team coverage. Cassandra.
Kevin, Heather, there are still so many questions surrounding exactly what happened here this
Going to a
afternoon.
VO next.
From here, we don't have a very good vantage point, but Jordan will zoom in and you should be able to make out the tail. I know you guys have a lot better view from our chopper, though. What we do know is that those 2 pilots are incredibly lucky, and not only did they both escape safely,
we got to stop VO and
any
Alpha next.
serious injuries. Fire officials are telling us the helicopter caught fire while
after Cassandra's tag, we'll go to Mike.
How high up it was, we
3,
still
2,
don't know
4.
yet, but somehow they were able to get it to the ground and escape safely.
Alpha.
Our understanding is that it went to the ground with them still in it, with it still on fire, and then they got out on their own. And that's when I don't know how far away they got from the wreckage at that point or what happened after that, but when we arrived, they were in a safe distance from it, and we were able to evaluate them and help them to the ambulance, and then they were transported.
Emotional.
The battalion chief saying that by the time crews arrived, the helicopter was burned down to the frame. He was not able to tell us what entity owns the helicopter or whether it took off from this airport, but those pilots were taken to the hospital to be checked for any other possible internal injuries. But miraculously, they did survive a burning helicopter as it crash landed here at the Clarence Page Airport. Reporting live, Cassandra Sweetman, Oklahoma's News 4.
Rolling 3, she is clear.
First weather from the 4 Morning Storm.
We had a cloudy, chilly start, but sunshine has helped make for a better day. At least some patchwork sunshine now building in. Let's take a look at our view from downtown Oklahoma City. Still more clouds than sun, but a bit of sun is allowed. Those temperatures.
He is hot, going to a 2-shot on them next.
We're still up near the high for the day. We're 64 degrees right now.
I'm going to stay in the frame thing.
Low 60s in northwest Oklahoma. Elk City, a cool 62. Still high 50s in Guyman. And Tulsa's had the most sun, 67 degrees right now. It'll be a dry evening. We've got a lot of moisture just kind of lingering over Oklahoma where sky is clear tonight. It's very humid. We'll have some fog tonight with some light winds, but here it is your Wednesday evening. And partly to mostly cloudy heading through sunset which is at 8:26, 60 at 8 o'clock. About the 10 o'clock news, a cool 54 with light winds. That's 7 to 8 plus 4, guys, coming up.
Coming up.
Thank you, Mike. The clock is ticking on the future of Medicaid expansion in
Need to frame
Oklahoma.
sync one
Governor
next.
Kevin Stitt wants private companies to oversee expansion.
But some lawmakers, including those in his own party, not happy about the governor's plan. They're trying to keep control in the hands of the state. News 4's Capitol Bureau Chief Brent Scotty live to tell us more. Brent?
Well, Kevin, Senate Bill
We're going to go to a package in
131
Bravo
would keep
next.
the Medicaid expansion voted for by Oklahomans last year in the hands of the state. Now, it's already passed the House, but the big question, will it be heard by the Senate, and could it get enough votes to override a veto by the governor?
Bravo.
There's still ongoing discussion on 131.
This one's 156.
We pass it in its current format.
Senator Frank Simpson says privatized expansion is not perfect, but he believes it's the way to go given Oklahoma's health care outcomes under the current system.
And even though we spent a lot of money, I don't think we're seeing any improvement in our health outcomes. Oklahoma's always at the bottom of the scale.
But providers disagree. Doctors and dentists lobbied at the Capitol this week for Senate Bill 131, which keeps Medicaid under the Oklahoma Health Care Authority. They say up to 11% more of the total budget goes to management, not to actual health care. They say the state has been down the privatized road before.
We had tried this path before in the early 1990s. It was scrapped within about 6 years based on the
After Brent's tech, then it'll be Camera 3 OTS.
Physicians, dentists.
Speaking of,
these are the most at-risk children in our community, in our state. They often have very limited access to providers anyway.
under the governor's privatized plan, some dentists say children relying on Medicaid for their dental care would have to get pre-authorized for anything more than a cleaning.
Many of these children, they come to us with severe issues. The treatment times could be delayed by weeks or even months, we know.
But the governor stands firm, saying privatization has worked in 42 other states that rank above Oklahoma in healthcare outcomes. He also says hospitals are pushing this bill because it gives them more money.
You notice it's not the taxpayers, it's not the people on Medicaid that are complaining about this change. It's the big hospital association.
But the president of the state's medical association argues Oklahomans will ultimately pay the price.
You're going to lose your rural physicians, your rural dentists. We lost a lot of rural hospitals.
Stand by, Francie.
And the hospitals didn't come back.
And Brent.
Now, I talked to the Oklahoma Hospital Association. They say they stand behind the doctors that were here at the Capitol this week. As for the legislature, they have till the end of the month to pass 131 or a similar bill. Otherwise, the privatization plan from the governor goes in effect October 1st. From the Capitol, Brett Scartney, Oklahoma's News 4.
And a big change is on the way when it comes to early voting in Oklahoma. Starting next year, you'll have more time to cast your ballot.
Two shots for the Tees. Where the Tees will have a great states on Alpha that will be on camera 4.
Period from 2.5 to 3.5 days leading up to a presidential election. The law change comes on the heels of record-breaking early voting turnout in Oklahoma during the 2020 presidential election.
Up next, unlocking the secret to a good
Alpha coming up.
Got my attention. One Oklahoman says he's got the key.
Alpha.
He put the scent in Crescent. Joshua Buck spends several nights a week inside his small brewing facility, roasting and grinding beans for a growing number of coffee drinkers.
We're posting
on
D
the
next.
next trade state, we'll sit down for a cup and see for ourselves what Josh calls the art of turning these beans into this. Nervous? Not us. Next on Oklahoma's News 4.
And track D.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5 with Kevin Ogle, Heather Holman, Mike Morgan, and Brian Brinkley. Oklahoma's News 4. Looking out for you.
And fade it, roll it. All right, 235. Excellent block, guys. 10 out. Stand by. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, VO.
A gold thief caught on camera stealing an expensive part off of a truck in the metro. And now police are sounding the alarm about a rise in catalytic converter thefts.
As News 4's Lauren Daniels found out,
Send
it's
you
a
a package,
crime that
Charlie.
can end up costing you big time.
This is a crime that could happen in your own driveway. Mechanics say
Pressing tag on one
like
next.
SUVs and pickups are most susceptible, and you could be out thousands of dollars fast.
especially if you got a group of guys, doing it, they can get, several cars, all at once in a matter of minutes.
Brian Thompson, owner of Brian's Automotive in Edmond, knows catalytic converter thefts all too well. Several years ago, there was an uptick in cases, with thieves selling the value parts to scrap metal lots.
They made a law to where the scrap yards couldn't take them unless somebody had proper ID and also a copy of the title for their vehicle showing, it was their car that they came off of.
According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, catalytic converter thefts have
I'll listen to tags and we'll go to the live look outside, followed by the 2 box for weather tea.
2020 alone. Brian is not sure if those are being sold on the black market, but the one thing he does know, the impact a theft can have on your wallet.
It could range anywhere from $800-900 to over $2,000, depending on your vehicle and, how many converters that you have, because some vehicles, will have up to 4 catalytic converters on them.
If you don't get your car repaired, it could lead to a major annoyance.
It's still drivable, but it's going to be extremely loud and sound like a NASCAR because you're going to have all the straight exhaust coming right out of the engine.
A surveillance camera recently caught this alleged catalytic converter theft at an Oklahoma City business. Police say this evidence is their best and usually only bet for catching those responsible.
If there's good video, that certainly helps us out. Anytime we can have another set of eyes on a suspect, that we can actually see it on video.
But in many cases, that's not an option.
They could go into a grocery store, the mall, or anything like that, and if they're sitting out in the parking lot,
10, standby camera
watching,
1 on.
They'll get under there and cut them off and go, and wouldn't even ever know it.
Lauren Daniels, Oklahoma's News 4.
All right, Lauren, thanks. As for your best bet at prevention, well, police and mechanics say just
look
be aware
outside
of your
next.
surroundings while in those parking lots.
And install some cameras at your house and catch those catalytic converter capers. Taking a live look outside.
They're not going to do anything.
March, or is it May?
It feels like March, but the calendar says May. When's it going to start acting like it, Mike?
As soon as it turns summertime, might be your answer, right? Kind of nice though. You don't really need the heater or the AC, so you're saving on your energy bill, right? Temperature low to mid-60s out there right now. But here comes some changes. They're rolling our way. Your weekend too. Next.
And fade roll. We're going to sting.
I'm going to have them do a quick update on the chopper crash.
Sing to a VO.
Just before weather, I wrote a quick VO update on this helicopter.
Out of the break will be Kevin's mic to the helicopter crash update. And then we'll have an open in 3-2 main weather. 10 standby. Singing to a VO on Kevin's mic. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kevin's read.
Welcome back. We want to update you on our breaking news. That's it. That fiery helicopter crash at Clarence E. Page Airport just west of Yukon. That chopper went down between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we know 2 pilots right there sitting on the tailgate were able to escape the fiery wreckage. They were both alert as paramedics treated them on the scene before they were taken to the hospital.
And right now, it's still unclear who that helicopter belongs to, but we do know that Homeland Security was taking pictures. They often do Border Patrol training at the airport, and we have a crew on the scene there for you. We'll get more information and give it to you as we get it.
Well, weather has been very cool, but it's been good for our energy bills. But here comes some warmer temperatures finally, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Probably some severe weather also brewing a bit later on down the road. We'll talk about that on our Wednesday afternoon. Skies are mostly cloudy here in Oklahoma City.
Okay, all he wanted.
Today, still cool though for mid to late May. Severe weather possible Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Upper 70s to low 80s and near 80 all the way out for 11 days on that 7-day plus 4 this afternoon.
Fading it, rolling it. 3:10 break. 10 standby billboard and D. Glam on 10 to 2. In 4, 3, 2, 1. D's.
Is this a great state or what? Is sponsored by Weoki. We got you, Oklahoma.
Beautiful.
Welcome back. Well, if you're like Kevin and myself, coffee is a must each morning.
Open 3 to a package of Bravo next.
Followed his nose to the town of Crescent, where it's all about the roast for one coffee enthusiast.
Like Bravo.
Unlocking the secret to a good cup of coffee. That's how Joshua Bug was trying to do it first.
That's great.
His parents had always been satisfied with instant.
And they drink Folgers, so they did the best they could.
They'll tag and then pitch the
Chasing a little
break.
more flavor from his cup for Josh meant scooping his own beans and roasting them. At first was something a little more primitive.
My first coffee roaster was a hand cranked popcorn popper on our stove. And I did one batch, and my wife said, no, not going to do that anymore. No, with this roaster, you got to set your temperature and your bean loft, which is the air flowing up.
He's always been a hands-on roaster. No timer, nothing automatic. Banished now to a garden shed in his backyard. He spends several nights a week out here listening for that first crack. Then the second. A perfect roast requires all his senses.
It's all just sight, smell, sound. It's an art, I believe.
He started selling his coffee to family and friends a few years ago.
So my original goal was to sell enough coffee to pay for what I drank.
So Rural Root Coffee Roasters really started in earnest January 2020, and it's grown every month. On a cool evening, when it's nice to sit down with a cup of Joe.
Are these the Honduran beans here?
30. It just kept changing, and I was like, I'll get to that later.
I think it's Guatemala. It's a premium blend, is what it is.
20. He's pretty happy that his passion for coffee is actually paying off. Putting the scent in Crescent isn't a bad reputation to have,
10.
Especially if it comes
Stand by.
from the
Anchor's
perfect
nice.
roast. In Crescent, Galen Culver, News 4. Is this a great state or what?
Oh my, really scent in Crescent. Really good, Galen. Yeah. Rural Route Coffee Roasters is still a one-man part-time job for Josh.
And Josh still commutes to Enid every day for his job at Johnston Seed Company, but he's just brought in a new, bigger roaster to keep up with demand.
Good for him.
Yes, they won't be doing those floor sweeping coffee trips anymore.
We'll be right back.
Paid roll. 3:45. 10. Stand by. Savio and Charlie. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Charlie.
I wouldn't check myself. I can't say if that's species or not. I don't know.
Cute.
More trouble inside the Oklahoma County Jail. This time, a pregnant woman says she needs to cell with feces on the walls, also bed bugs and black mold. Details on that in 30 minutes.
And we continue to be on the scene of that breaking news. A helicopter crash in far west Oklahoma City. We have new information for you from the scene tonight at 6 o'clock, and there that is from the ground.
Clarence E. Page Airport there out near Yukon. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. Thanks for joining us.
That actually worked out better.
That did.
That was about a hairier change.